Hello viewers, welcome to our program on immigration and you. I am your immigration attorney Michael Fulwani, and once again we have with us attorney David Nachman, my law partner. David, welcome.
Thank you so much, Michael. Pleasure to be with you.
Thank you.
As always.
Yeah. Now let's start our program. First of all, let us tell you that on November 21st, President Obama announced about the executive action under which he said more than 5 million people will be in that deferred deportation program. So, and they'll get a work permits also and all that. So what we did last time, if you watched the program, we did show you some part of President Obama's talk, and what we plan to do in each of these programs, next 2, 3, 4, we want to have President Obama, you listen to President Obama, what he said. So let's go to the tape, and then we'll continue the program.
My fellow Americans, tonight I'd like to talk with you about immigration. For more than 200 years, our tradition of welcoming immigrants from around the world has given us a tremendous advantage over other nations. It's kept us youthful, dynamic, and entrepreneurial. It has shaped our character as a people with limitless possibilities. People not trapped by our past, but able to remake ourselves as we choose. But today, our immigration system is broken, and everybody knows it. Families who enter our country the right way and play by the rules watch others flout the rules. Business owners who offer their workers good wages and benefits see the competition exploit undocumented immigrants by paying them far less. All of us take offense to anyone who reaps the rewards of living in America without taking on the responsibilities of living in America. And undocumented immigrants who desperately want to embrace those responsibilities see little option but to remain in the shadows or risk their families being torn apart. It's been this way for decades. And for decades, we haven't done much about it. When I took office, I committed to fixing this broken immigration system. And I began by doing what I could to secure our borders. Today, we have more agents and technology deployed to secure our southern border than at any time in our history. And over the past 6 years, illegal border crossings have been cut by more than half. Although this summer there was a brief spike in unaccompanied children being apprehended at our border, the number of such children is now actually lower than it's been in nearly 2 years. Overall, the number of people trying to cross our border illegally is at its lowest level since the 1970s. Those are the facts. Meanwhile, I worked with Congress on a comprehensive fix. And last year, 68 Democrats, Republicans, and independents came together to pass a bipartisan bill in the Senate. It wasn't perfect. It was a compromise. But it reflected common sense. It would have doubled the number of Border Patrol agents, while giving undocumented immigrants a pathway to citizenship if they paid a fine, started paying their taxes, and went to the back of the line. And independent experts said that it would help grow our economy and shrink our deficits. Had the House of Representatives allowed that kind of bill, a simple yes or no vote, it would have passed with support from both parties. And today it would be the law. But for a year and a half now, Republican leaders in the House have refused to allow that simple vote. Now, I continue to believe that the best way to solve this problem is by working together to pass that kind of common sense law. But until that happens, there are actions I have the legal authority to take as president, the same kinds of actions taken by Democratic and Republican presidents before me, that will help make our immigration system more fair and more just.
All right, so last program we discussed about DACA, and we discussed about who qualifies and who were left behind.
Right, the deferred action for all persons
Who were
grouping
like
also.
parents of U.S. citizen children or green card holder children. We
Deferred
talked
action
about
for
that.
parents, DAP.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
I think we should move along because there are a lot of points to talk about. But as I said, that it's possible that some of our viewers might not have seen the previous program or
That's
might
right.
have missed something. feel free to send us an email and we'll send you all the information what is contained in the memorandum.
Right, but in addition to that, Michael, we also have these available on YouTube. Please feel free to visit our channel on YouTube and to view, obviously, what we've already said, because it may be applicable to you. But just to recap very quickly, President Obama's administrative announcement on November 20th, which included several memoranda that came out on each one of the categories that we discussed previously. We discussed already the DACA program, which was an expansion of DACA now to allow individuals who are over 31 years of age and who entered the United States up to 2010 to apply for DACA, which is a wonderful benefit. And as Michael said in the last program, that we feel that probably it will double the amount of people who applied under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. It will also move Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals into a 3-year as opposed to a 2-year grant, and you'll be able to get employment authorizations for those 3 years. Then the big question which Michael raised, which I think is a great one, is when can we apply for those benefits? And basically what it says in the memorandum, which was issued by the government, is that within 90 days you'll be able to apply for those DACA benefits. Now, moving to the second classification of people who are going to be swept under these administrative relief benefits is what we call DAP, the Deferred Action for Parents, which Michael just referred to. So, Michael, when are these people supposed to be able to apply for their benefits?
They said about 6 months, so we are looking about May or June. Of,
exactly. So they said actually it was apparently by at least by memo, they mentioned 180 days, which by my estimation will be in May 20th of 2015 will be the time, the minimum time at which we'll be able to start applying. Now, if this program takes the same form that DACA took, forms will be issued. Just like DACA issued, there was a form. I was
trying to explain to them that they need some time to
gather their
forms,
documents,
information, train the officers,
and
the computers and the mechanics, a lot, and how much fees and all that has to be.
So what should our viewers be doing, Michael, right now to prepare themselves to submit documents to benefit themselves under this DAP program that purportedly is going to take care of about 4 to 5 million people in the United States?
It's like the same thing like getting married. Before you get married, you are getting ready for the marriage, the engagement, and buying clothes and jewelry, and then getting ready.
Right, so they should be getting their personal documentation together. We know that they're going to have to prove that they were in the United States continuously for 5 years. So what kind of information should they get together? Well, right now, and they also have to prove that they were physically present in the United States on the day that President Obama made the announcement. So what type of documentation do you have to prove that you were here on November 20th of 2014?
As the preparedness goes with any category. So depending on which category we are talking about, there may be different type of documents and information needed. So you're talking about the DACA, probably.
I'm saying,
right?
well, no, I'm saying actually both DACA and DAP, both programs have a physical presence requirement, that they be physically present for a certain period of time. So we in our office have a list of documents which we provide to our clients that gives them an idea. And this list, by the way, is not, it's not a military secret. It's something that you have access to on the internet. And if you don't have access to it, because I believe that there are various NGOs, non-governmental organizations, that have put this information out. But if you need this list, please feel free to email us at the email address on your screen. We'll be more than happy to send you a list of the documents that you can provide to demonstrate your continuous presence in the United States. However, in addition to that, of course, if you want additional information about ways that you can prepare yourself, please feel free to visit our general website at www.visaserve.com, or send Michael or I an email, and we'll be more than happy to guide you on what sort of information you need to get to us to prepare yourself to take advantage of these benefits. Again, DACA benefits going out, you can apply within 90 days, and the DAP benefits, which you'll have in 180 days.
Something that I want to talk about is, if you look at the memorandum or you listen to this program, you will see that in many of the categories, there are existing categories which have been expanded further, like a DACA. And the next item that we are going to talk about is the
provisional waivers.
Provisional waivers.
Exactly.
It's existing already, but they've expanded.
Correct.
Beautifully expanded.
Exactly.
A lot of help in that. So first of all, let me go.
Tell us about the expansion, because it's really a wonderful benefit
Absolutely.
that goes to this issue of family unity, Michael. So tell us about the expansion.
So here it is. Let me go to the history first to see.
Please.
Prior to these provisional waivers, what did we have? You are in this country illegally. Probably you have stayed more than 1 year. So you have always the option to adjust the status in the US if you are eligible. And if you are not eligible, the second option is to going to the American consulate in India or whichever country and applying there. So if before this provision, anybody that was decided, okay, I can't wait anymore if I don't have a 245I or the provision on the law under which I can apply here, let me go to India and get it done, okay?
Right.
If he does that, there used to be a 10-year bar.
Correct.
Now, 10-year bar means the American consul say your marriage, everything is fine. I'm sorry, I cannot give you the visa, but you have stayed illegally in the US, so your 10 years I cannot give you the visa. But there was a provision for the waiver also at that time. So the consul will say, okay, if you want to apply for a waiver of this 10-year bar, you can apply for that. Right. And at that time, the immigration office was in New Delhi in India, and that application for the waiver, the consul will take and send it to the USCIS. Right. Now, that was very uncertainty. They may approve, and even that takes about a year or two of separation from the family and waiting in India until that is all done.
Right.
But what if the USCIS denies the waiver, the guy is stuck in 10 years?
Stuck, exactly.
So with that in mind, they came up with a plan. President Obama has been doing a lot of nice things like this.
Right.
They say, okay, why don't we start a program under which you apply for the waiver, get the waiver first and then go
Right.
to...
And that was called the Provisional Waiver, and that was implemented in the law about 2 years ago.
Correct.
Right?
But even that waiver application had to show to extreme hardship to the family members. And it was very limited, only to the spouses of US citizens, only one category. And even there, I always recommended that you must consult an experienced attorney. Even there's a little risk there, because you go there and then the consul finds some fraud or misrepresentation.
Right.
In addition to that, he will also charge another, and there's...
Correct.
And that waiver cannot be done in advance.
Exactly.
So now, what has President done? You want to talk about the expansion. What is the expansion today under this memo that was not in the previous one that I explained?
Okay, so I'm going to describe the expansion to our viewers, but before I do that, I just wanted to say that what lied at the heart of comprehensive immigration reform, going back to the bills that Michael and I discussed, was the fact that they wanted to say, well, one of the big problems with the law is get rid of the bars. Get rid of the bars, and then if you get rid of the 3 and the 10-year bar, then we don't have to worry because our people can adjust. Well, this was an interesting administrative relief to allow individuals to get around the bars.
And the reason
that's what this happened.
The reason for that is that
family unity.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm saying that all these things that are coming administratively are happening because these are the items that the president can do himself.
Correct.
Without going to Congress. But then a lot of other issues like remove the 3 or 10-year bars, it's not up to him. He cannot do that. That is for the Congress to do.
Exactly.
Therefore, he comes out with very, I'm saying they look at that very closely to see any of these actions can be considered as a violation or misuse of the powers of the president, or if they go to the Supreme Court might say the president has no authority to do it. So they are very, very closely examining.
So let me now talk about how it is expanded, because that's the most important thing.
Exactly.
There. Most important for our viewers to know is that the I-601A, which is the form that's used for provisional waivers, is now expanded, at least under this memorandum, to include spouses and children of lawful permanent residents, okay? And also, there was an expansion to deal with the definition, a liberalization of the definition of extreme hardship. And that is...
also sons and daughters of the... previously, it was only the spouse.
Right.
Now, even the sons and daughters of the U.S. citizens as well.
Exactly.
They are included in this.
Exactly. So what is the overall benefit, Michael, that you see to this expansion of the
let's talk
provisional?
about that. You just talk about extreme hardship. You see, there's always a big issue whether this will be approved or not, because the requirements of extreme hardship were extreme. So we try to help our clients in explaining them what they are and how they can meet the requirement. But there were cases that the Immigration Service will not be satisfied based upon that existing policy of what constitutes extreme hardship. So what they did here in this, they say that must meet the standard of extreme hardship must meet together. In other words, they are kind of lowering down the extreme, liberalizing
the extreme hardship
just
standard.
Saying word, removing the word extreme, just say hardship.
Exactly. So I just want to quickly call the attention of our viewing audience to the November 20th memorandum, which was for Leon Rodriguez at the USCIS from Jay Johnson, who's the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. And in this memorandum, there's a discussion by Jay Johnson saying that they need to liberalize. Basically, it explains the expansion of the provisional waiver and then seeks to liberalize the definition of extreme hardship. So again, if you would like to see a copy of this memorandum, it is online, but feel free to send us an email and we'll be more than happy to provide it to you.
Once again, let me mention, this may seem pretty easy to people about getting this waiver and then going to India. So this guy applies for a waiver. The waiver is granted in his pocket. He goes to the American consul. The consul says, sorry, you are a 10-year bar. And he pulls out that, sir, here is the waiver. Now you give me the visa. It can be that simple because American consuls do go beyond that. They want to see how did you go to the US, what documents you used, who helped you and all that. And based upon that, they could still deny under a different section of the law, which is a lifetime bar because of 60, and there may be a waiver for that also, but they have to apply all over again for that waiver. So it's a good idea to consult a good immigration lawyer and be prepared fully for that as well. And again, we're running out of the time. Thank you very much, David, and thank all
you
you
so
for
much,
watching
Michael.
the program.
Always a pleasure.
And make sure you don't contact any people that are trying to commit fraud and get your money.
Of course, be careful of scammers.
Careful. Just
Yep.
take your time. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Thanks so much.